You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
You're tuned into our edition of Hard Hitting Radio down the Deuces. I'm your host, Toriana Parker, with our executive super producer, Brother Jabbar Edmonds, One Love Magazine in the building. Hey, it's good Thursday here. Today we have exciting guests. You may know him. He's my brother, he's your brother, Philip Haywood. Family has done a lot of work in this community. A lot of your sons has played for his father or his brother. Man always gave back to this community since I've known him, since I was a child. But hey, without further ado, our super journalist, Philip Haywood. How you doing today, brother?
Man, I'm doing fine, man. It's a pleasure to be here. First of all, I'd like to thank God for making this situation all possible. And today, we're going to hit hard because this is the hardest hitting show in the Bay Area.
Oh.
And I'm just a pleasure to, to be here today. And the first subject we're going to touch on today is I want to talk about our political field that's going on in our area, especially in District 3, where Lisa Wheeler Brown faces the Newton fellow, District 7. But what I do know is I know a little bit about Lisa Brown from what I've read and from what I've seen. She's a very hard-working young lady who I think is going to be great for the people, because we need people that are going to represent us in any shape, fashion, or form. I don't know too much about Mr. Will Newton except for he's Newt's brother, the current holder of the District 3 position. But like I said, I don't know much about him, but I think that they'll be fine on both ends of the spectrum. And what I really want to touch on today is about some campaign contributions, which the media has made out to be something that is really not. I mean, a $500 contribution, in my opinion, that's nothing, because if you look at the bigger picture, with the light of persuasions, they have taken larger contributions like hundreds of thousands and bought this and bought that. But for her to take $500 for a cosmetic issue, what's wrong with her getting her teeth fixed? After all, the sister does represent her community, and anytime you're in the public eye, you want to be looking your best. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that young lady making herself a viable candidate from a physical standpoint, and we don't seem to have an issue with it. They do. The prognosticators that really don't want her in office. And I think it's a pity and a shame to be petty. That's right, I use the word petty. $500, that ain't never hurt nobody, taken from a campaign contribution. After all, I don't think people make a big deal out of what they contribute to a campaign. And especially, I mean, how would you like it if your candidate came to the podium in a public setting looking raggedy as a mango seed, so to speak? Hair ain't done, nails looking crusty. I'm just keeping it real, I'm keeping it 100, but I think our candidate Lisa Brown Wheeler has the right to look her best at any given day, at any given time. And I think that appearance does play a role in how our candidates look. And after all, if the lady did get her teeth fixed, y'all got something to say. Now she got her teeth fixed, y'all still got something to say. Be darned if she do, darn if she don't. She can't win for losing.
Yeah, well, they saying that according to the press, and they're out there stating that she can't be using campaign money for her own personal good. Now, understanding campaign laws is very well have an area in it for cosmetic, but some reason or other she can't shake it due to the fact that the breakup with her ex-manager, and the fact that she may stand on a different side of the race, which could sway people one way or the other. With all that being said, what's your take on that?
My take on it is, I don't know what happened between her and her campaign manager, but some hot grease done been thrown somewhere, and that's not gonna stop me from voting for the young lady $500. I'm not tripping. And the thing that bothers me is that there are not enough African American media to even cover this. So what we're looking at is someone from the Times who's smearing her campaign, and $500, that's not gonna send her to the poorhouse. That lady deserves, if she is in public office, she deserves cosmetic updates or to be looking better. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because as I said earlier, if the lady didn't get any cosmetic things done, people gonna be talking. So the lady went and did what she felt was right to make herself look like a better viable candidate from a physical standpoint. That's fine, because in my humble opinion, the woman has gone out and has shown the general public that she is quite capable of holding a public office. She's gone out and she's rallied for crime and things of that nature. And I know her son was murdered, and she went out and she stomped the pavement to make our area and our place where we live a better place. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm pretty sure that we all want someone who's gonna fight for the people. And she is fighting for the people. And with that being said, I'm going to hand it back over to my man.
Oh, hey, what you're saying is attributes of the candidate. That's very well, something that's very rarely used right now while people are running. They're talking about something you did 15, 16 years ago, or funerology you did for a cosmetic. Nobody talking about what your candidate did. Here's what we're talking about when we're looking at the two candidates. I don't know much of Will Newton myself, as I know of his brother, who I've known for over a couple of decades. But let's go and just say what I do know of the candidate, Lisa. I took street or non-street, and I think everybody can relate this. I don't know anybody that's been able to search down somebody who killed their son and their son of color. I don't know nobody personally besides Lisa. That is remarkable when you're going into alleys, you're going to dope houses, because you know that's an element of a person who killed someone. So when we're talking about something like that, somebody like that is willing to go there and risk everything for the sake, and I know that was for the sake of justice. That means you have somebody who ain't afraid to take on stuff. So people taking her as a person that may bow down to stuff or whatever, I don't think so. Not if you're going against that element. What could be tougher than that? Them are some people that sitting down in City Hall. So therefore, that's why I have, and I think it's more about attributes of her community service work, the stuff she has done. She's a pillar. You can go reach her. She's on a few streets from here. Our office down here on 22nd Street. So I wish I knew more about Will. You know, I'm going to have our producers here get in touch with Will, and I would like him on our show, because we had Lisa on our show. I think she spoke very candid. She showed you why she wants to run. She spoke it, Phil, without even saying anything about the other person. And I think that's how things should go. And what you did mention is, and thanks to One Love magazine, we don't have really any African American media to spin other stuff. When stuff get going and it start going downhill, we don't have nobody to slow the landslide. You know, it kind of keeps going, and nobody gets to the other side. You know, it's not really fair and balanced. You know, it's kind of one-sided. You know, depending on what side you're on, some other side gets squashed. This is what I'm going to do, though. I'm going to go into another subject when we come back from commercial. We've got to run the commercial, and I want to get into something about economic development with you. I want to run a couple of things by you. This is One Love from One Love magazine, our #1 sponsor, along with Gallery 909. Creole Cafe, some of the best gumbo jambalaya on the quarter, and Sylvia's Soul Food Restaurant down the Deuces, 22nd Street South. Some of our super sponsors there on our show, Hard Hitting Radio. Our executive super producer, Brother Jabbar Edmonds. I'm your host, Toriana Parker. We're going to go to the commercial, and we'll be right back with Brother Phil Haywood. We're going to ask this brother about economic development, how he see it in the Midtown area. This is your host, Toriana Parker. See you in a second. Hey, you tuned into your second edition of the Day Show, Hard Hit Radio. I'm your host again, Toriana Parker. Our super executive producer, Brother Jabbar Edmonds from One Love Magazine. Call that brother if you want to get your show filmed, your movie, your wedding, any special moment. One Love Magazine, Brother Jabbar Edmonds. We can tell you how to reach him. Hey, we're talking to our distinguished guest today, Philip Haywood, a very community active individual, a great journalist. I've known this brother and his family a long time, and was leading us off the segment with we're talking some economic development. There's a lot of things going on right now in this city. Some stuff are being overlooked because we're blindsided by stuff that's going on in the pier, or whether the raid's going to go or come, whatever. But then we take a certain areas of this city and there's no production, no activity whatsoever, and some movement. Now, don't get it wrong. There are some people trying to make some movement, but Phil, I just want to get your outtake. What do you think our progress was, economic development in a lot of these areas?
Well, I think there's some economic development going on, but in my humble opinion, if you all are in your cars and you're traveling along the 34th Street corridor and you cross Central Avenue, just take a look at the landscape and how things are looking, what they're building, what they have across Central Avenue. But when you're on the 34th Street corridor coming south across Central, the landscape is totally different. And in my opinion, again, there are a lot of people, wealthy people, that live south of Central Avenue. We don't have things such as a TJ Maxx, with a Barnes and Nobles, with a Chick-fil-A. We don't have any of that. We don't even have an Ashley's Furniture or American Signature. We buy homes, we buy furniture. Why not bring these things to our area where we live so we can feel some economic impact? And if you just really look at it, what kind of businesses that we have other than chicken shacks, Chinese restaurants, gas stations owned by Arabs, nothing is pretty much owned by black folks. If my memory serves me correctly, the only two African American owned corner stores that we have is 37th Street and 18th Avenue, and Blackie's on 22nd Avenue, and that's about 19th Street. So we really gotta get on our horses and start pooling our money and bring economic development to our area. And I want to speak a little bit, I just want to throw this out there. We have a lot of professional athletes that reside here or in the area, or that are from the area. I'd like to see those guys pool their money together and come up with a mall similar to Park Square Mall, where you have the Target, you've got the Ross or the TJ Maxx or whatever it is, you've got a Chipotle, you got to get a Barnes and Nobles. You got we do read in our community. We do spend money. I think even a Dick's Sporting Goods. But again, I guess when you're in the field of economic development, you've got to have the demographic, meaning you got to have the numbers to support these businesses. And honestly, I think that we can support some things. And I was recently doing some stuff on Facebook, and a good friend of mine said that they needed a grocery store out on 62nd Avenue, but I reminded her that there are two Publixes within that area, but for some reason that development where the cash and carry was, it's a dead zone. And I think that there should be someone to come in, maybe a neighborhood Walmart. They were talking about Winn-Dixie, but we've had a Winn-Dixie in the area maybe 25 years ago, and for some unforeseen reason they closed down. But what I think is honestly going on is there is a monopoly between Walmart and Publix. They're just hogging up everything, and those are the competitors. And you know, everywhere you go you see a Walmart, everywhere you go you see a Publix. What are they gonna do with the Kmart shopping area over there? That's a dormant area. Also, Maxi Mall, they should tear that down and start doing some things with that. But we don't know what's going on because we don't attend meetings, and we don't, as a result, as a direct result of not attending meetings, we don't know what's going on economically in our community. So we, as African American people, we need to become involved and become key decision makers as to what is going on and to know what's going on in our community. Now, if we stay uninvolved, we can't make decisions. So when they bring it, well, why they put that over here? That's because we didn't go and fight and say, this is what we want, this is what we need. And if we're not doing that, we have no say in what's going on economically in our community. Now, I know with this 22nd Street thing, there's a lot of arts that is taking over in this area, and that's the blueprint, that's the plan. And what we've got to do, we've got to start going to these meetings and really throwing out what is needed in the Midtown community and abroad. And if we start doing that, maybe we can have a voice in our community. But until then, what can we say when we don't say anything? We basically silent folks. So they have the option to come in and say, well, we could put this over here, and with none of our faces sitting at the table, it's all them. They're making the decisions. That's the bottom line.
What about this? What you said in your last segment. You know, that's information, right? I don't know if any of you people visit the City of St. Pete website, but where some of the most detailed information takes a minute or two there. Why don't we have other venues of some type of media, some type of outlet to disperse information of importance there, to get people there? Like the Skyward Marine District you just mentioned, and they're spending a lot of money and resources trying to develop that area. We probably wouldn't know. You're right. There's a lot of areas because there's no one to speak about it. I think the biggest thing that you said and you touched on that we all need to see is transparency information. Information is done at City Hall, or North Side, or wherever it comes from. It's transparent throughout so that everyone feels like they have a part instead of you know, finding on business after the fact. You know. And then like I said, we get sidetracked again. We get involved in so much other, like maybe they got us so involved in this $500 thing or the raise things that we forget all the other stuff that's important. This how you feed your family every day, or all the other empty shopping centers in town. You made a very great point. I tell you what, it almost a good point. I have some good talking points I want to use for our third segment for our talking points. Right now we're going to go to a commercial and have Philip Haywood, our guest on our third segment, closing out Hard Hitting Radio on the Deuces. I'm your host, Toriana Parker, with our executive super producer, Brother Jabbar Edmonds, One Love Magazine. Still, special shouts out again to our sponsors, Sylvia's Soul Food Restaurant, Lorraine's. Don't forget about that CF House. That sister been there for a long time, cooking for a lot of people, a lot of years. Cafe Creole, they some of the best gallery in the town. Carla Bristol at Gallery 909, and don't forget the historic Dr. Carter G. Woodson Museum, ran by the Carter G. Woodson Board. They have done an excellent job bringing things to our area. I'm your host, Toriana Parker. We're going to lead to our third segment. I'll see you in a second. Tune in your third edition of our today's series on Hard Hitting Radio. Again, I'm your host, Toriana Parker, our super executive producer, Brother Jabbar Edmonds from One Love Magazine, that puts the whole show together. We've been chopping today with our main man, Philip Haywood. Like I say, a staunch supporter in our community. Have done several projects, has been a writer, journalist, has done everything you can name. We've fought up a lot of issues where we're talking about economic development, we're talking about candidacy, elections, a lot of stuff that's going on. Let's tell you what is coming up. Next week's show, we will have our chief of staff, Kevin King, will be on the show. So we're going to give him the whole segment. He's the next under our great mayor, Rick Chrysler. You know, I'm a Democrat, everybody. Hey, but he will be on next week. Kevin's a follower of our show. He tunes in. He's listening to probably what me and Brother Hayward saying about, and we hope he can come in and give us a different perspective, because we are a fair and balanced show. We're not a fact-checking show, so which means whatever our guests say is their own personal feelings, their own personal opinions. But we will have him on next week to go on some talks, maybe talk today, and some other talks we didn't know about the city. In addition to, we want to still bring back the great work from our production company here at One Love Magazine for the work they do in the community. Call them. You need your information filmed. You want some shows. You want to be able to make sure you have memories of everything you do. You call Brother Jabbar Edmonds. You can hit him up on Facebook. You can follow him on One Love Magazine. You can just come up into his show and follow the brother. And if you want to come on this show, you can also hit him up for that. You want to make sure you can hit him almost anything you have, media-wise, media print, anything you have. You call One Love Magazine, Brother Jabbar Edmonds at your service. Philip, to close out and make sure you had any other thing to say. What is to our radio land? Anything you want to share with us that maybe we didn't bring up that you want to share, close out the show?
Yeah. With the last thing that we talked about, with the economic development, there are businesses out there that are African American owned. I'm trying to encourage everyone to patronize African American businesses, because there's more than one black plumber, there's more than one black carpenter, there's more than one black mechanic, and believe it or not, we do have some skilled mechanics, skilled plumbers, skilled welders, and I think we should all learn how to patronize our own businesses, because if I had an athletic shoe store, I would want my people to come and patronize my business. Don't come to my business trying to play let's make a deal. What's behind door number 1, door number 2, or door number 3? Because when you go to the mall, you don't play let's make a deal. If that man said they want $180 for them Jordans, y'all writing checks and slashing debit cards real quick. So won't y'all buy black sometime? Patronize your own business. Get involved in your community affairs so you know what's going on, because they hold a lot of clandestine meetings where we're not involved, and they make decisions that overtly affect us. So we need to get involved in our community so we can make a difference.
Oh man. Hey, Philip Perry, you heard it. Hey, tell them to get involved. Definitely patronize your own. If you want more of it, you need to definitely put your money there, so you put your money where your mouth. Again, like I say, hey, we're going to close out this Thursday edition of Hard Hitting Radio. Host Toriana Parker, along with our second super producer, Brother Jabbar Edmonds. Your production, your filming. Hey, what you know about our Brother Jabbar Edmonds? You like the service?
Yeah, I do.
I ask all my guests that, so I'm just asking.
Actually, yeah, I think this brother's real smooth. He has a craft that every man don't possess, and it's a craft that could take him around the world. That's what we need. We need more young African American males doing this kind of thing, doing productions, because this could lead to something really big. And when we start small and we keep putting a concerted effort into what we do, it becomes a large thing.
That's my man. Philip, we're looking to have you on the show again. I really appreciate from the Hard Five staff here, if you coming on our show today, it's very soon. I want you to make sure you tune in, and when we send this version out to you on your YouTube, your Facebook page tomorrow, you share it with all, because we hope anybody else want to come on the show who has something to say, they come on Hard Hitting Radio. I thank you again. I'm the host again, Toriana Parker. Again, thanks to all our producers and the second producers out there that wants to be something and be significant in this world. It's your host, Toriana Parker, One Love Magazine. Please tune in next week while we're going to have our guest, Chief of Staff, Kevin King, on our show, 12:15 next Thursday.